Hotepu brothers, today I'm going to show you how to decode the golden scriptures of the blacks of Kemet's Nile Valley. I do this to give the gay community a source of religious scripture that is devoid of the abusiveness, the bullying, the deriding of us, and the trying to erase our gayness from the world. Through the texts of ancient Egypt and its scriptures, we can find this source of spiritual soul food, quite literally. And the way to do that is to learn how to decode the text, which I will teach over the next few years to the public. How to decode the text in a very simple and easy to follow way. And that's by simply reading what's on the page, reading what you see. We're not going to extrapolate too much. We're not going to make up stuff. We're simply going to see what it says and then make logical sense from what we're looking at. Basically, you see here, I'll bring in my cursor, the Papyrus of Ani, a hymn to Ra, the sun god, plate 1. And very quickly, section 1 up here, from 1 to 2, is translated down here in English from 1 to 2. And from 2 to the end is the same in translation as 2 to the end here. You always start reading glyphs from the direction the figures are facing. You have this figure here facing to the left, this figure facing to your left hand, the snake, the quail chick, the snake again, all facing to your left. So we start from the left and we read into the figures towards the right. That's the rule. So we have 1 is 1, 2 is 2. We start, in this case, from left to right. Now, you want to notice the beginning of things in Egyptian religion. The beginning of a thing contains the end of a thing, contains the whole of a thing. The seed contains the whole orange tree. The tiny DNA strands in the womb of your mother that made you contained all of your biology that you are now experiencing. It was already written in the beginning. So the beginning tells us the whole story if we look at the beginning carefully. And where does the beginning start in this visually? The first glyph you see is a star. Now they call this book the Book of the Dead, but we have renamed it in the Golden Beetle to refer to what it really is trying to do. We call it the Book of Awakening the Divine Within You. So, what is your first step in awakening the divine in you? Your first starting point must be the same as this starting point, a star. This means astrology. To awaken the divine in yourself, you want to start with your astrology chart. And I will prove to you how the entire 300 pages or so of the rest of the text are nothing more than counsels on how to decode your astrology chart in a divine and spiritual manner. Not through some hour-and-a-half session with someone on the phone for your chart, but as a religious act, turning your chart into a religious ceremony of lifestyle. So, we now have learned the first symbol is a star. The whole book is about the stars. The next symbol is a human. So how the stars link to humans. You see the sequence, the logic? The third glyph is a scroll that's rolled up, a rolled up papyrus scroll, meaning book of knowledge, information, or science. So the stars, how humans connect to them scientifically. So the Book of the Dead, the Book of Awakening the Divine Within, is a manual on how astrology reveals humans' connection to the universe scientifically. Astrology shows humans' connection to the universe scientifically, mathematically. So, your astrology chart should be reached for or grasped, like you grasp a concept, you grasp an idea. your astrology chart must be grasped scientifically. And these three glyphs mean dua, or praise. How do you praise the Creator? Through your astrology chart being grasped scientifically. And between the glyph for star, meaning stars or universe, and human knowledge, the book, because humans write books encoding their knowledge, between the two is a human. This is saying the word for scientific book, this rolled up scroll, that scientific research on the universe, meaning the star, the greater universe, the stars, should be done in a humane way. Because he's reaching out to touch. Touch means heart, heartfelt. You touch something, you're touched by something. This preempts Frankenstein scientists, where you're studying the forces of the universe to create napalm bombs and atom bombs and nuclear bombs. It's saying, no, you must reach for the cosmic knowledge, the universal knowledge symbolized by these stars, in a humane way. You must touch them with your humanity. You must grasp them with your heart. You see? The next glyph is this open mouth or vibrating string, which is the letter R. This arm is A, followed by a sun disk symbol, a dot with a circle, a tick mark line, and this seated figure with a little beard. All of those mean Ra. Ra. Ra means the sun god. So it's showing you the sun, which we show here as a dot, the sun, surrounded by the orbit of the planets. So we knew that the solar system was heliocentric, not geocentric. It took the whites until whatever it was, 1600 AD to figure that one out. We knew it thousands of years ago. So we have the sun. The sun's line here, this tick mark means line. The sun's line is what? The ecliptic, the line the sun seems to trace through the sky. And it's gods. So the sun's line of gods. That means the 12 ecliptic zodiac signs. The bull of Taurus, the twins of Gemini, the lion of Leo, the fish of Pisces, the 12 gods. And it's saying that these sun gods, these 12 zodiac sun signs, are gods. They're not some printout of your chart on a piece of paper that you get for reading for an hour and a half. Treat your chart as an act of worship, of reverence. These are gods you're dealing with. Since the days of the white Greeks, the whole science of approaching your charts as an act of reverence has been lost. Now, peoples of color around the world still do this. Smaller peoples of color in terms of smaller tribes and smaller nations. And even the Indians do this to some extent too with their star rituals, their yagyas, their pujas. But Egypt is saying this must be the way you approach it. You can't say, oh, my sun is in the Taurus bull and blah, blah, blah. I'm stubborn and I'm hardworking. That's nothing. What is the god of the bull telling you? So it's saying your astrology chart should be touched in a humane way and grasped scientifically by studying the sun's line of gods of the 12 zodiac signs in a sacred, religious, reverential manner. And this means kef, when. And then we have uben fe. From the quail chick to this little serpent means uben fe, he riseth. So you want to study the gods of the ecliptic sun signs, the zodiac gods, when they rise, meaning you want to watch their astronomical movement. It's telling you to be an observational astronomer, astrologer. And of course, not just their rising, it's implied they're rising, they're culminating, they're setting. Watch their movements with sacredness, with holiness, with reverence, with this sense of them being divinities walking through heaven. This word means in, which you see down here, in. This sun disk with the mountains here and these little glyphs here mean akhet, horizon. Horizon is the division line between night and day, the horizon. When things are beneath, particularly the sun's beneath the horizon, it's called night. You're sleeping or you're in your subconscious mode. When the sun breaks the horizon and goes above it, it's called daylight when you're in your conscious mode. So horizon means between the point between unconscious and conscious awareness, between being asleep to something and being awake to something. The next word here from this long glyph here to this mountain glyph here is optet, meaning eastern. So horizon means the division place between sleeping and wakeful, or unconscious and conscious awareness. But optet makes it very precise. Optet means east. East is where things wake up, where things rise up and become bright to your awareness. The sun rises in the east. The light comes in. That means you become conscious of something. You become enlightened about that. You're receiving more light. You're more enlightened about something consciously. You have lit it up, brought it to life, to conscious life. So it's saying that you have to take your astrology charts and humanely grasp them through scientific analysis of the sun's line of gods as they rise. Now the rising meaning take them and lift them up. Take your astrology chart and its flaws, its bad angles, its bad conditions, and lift them up, raise them, elevate them in a conscious way. Wake up to them. Wake up to your chart consciously. Study it thoroughly. That's why we have Eastern and rising. Conscious awareness, letting the light of your chart of heaven, int, pet. These three here mean pet or heaven. You have heaven here. Heaven is code for the subconscious mind. So what is it saying in sum? Basically it's saying that if you touch and grasp in a humane fashion your scientific study of your astrology chart and its zodiac gods and raise them up to higher expression, you will have conscious understanding, conscious enlightenment of heaven, your subconscious behavior, of your psychology. This is telling you through the reverential approach to your astrology chart and trying to lift up its karmas to a higher level of expression and good virtue, you will start to understand your subconscious psychological dynamics. This is a manual linking astrology to psychology. And this phrase here, by the way, Uben Ra, the raising of Ra, also means the raising of Kundalini. Ra is code for Chi, for Ashe, for life force, or Kundalini. So the Ra rising, you see Ra rising here, means that when it's giving you the answer how to really open your chakras. You have to study your chart in a very conscious way with reverence and religious force, and that study, while you're watching the transits of your stars rising over your life, your daily transits or planetary motions, and you try to elevate their energies, that act of worship and upliftment will make your Kundalini rise and make your chakras bloom open, make them flower open. The word for east here has a kind of blooming plant force here, meaning the east, the sunlight, will make your chakras rise. The sunlight of your astrology, zodiac, 12 sun signs, when approached well, will make the chakras rise and open like the lotus to the sun. This is a text of astropsychology and chakra science, made very plain and clear. Dwa Wen Hotepu.